In a crowded airport on Christmas Eve, a tired gate agent publicly tears a man's paper boarding pass, scattering his cookie tin. A baggage handler, on break, crosses the rope, pays the reissue fee himself, and faces right up and a cancelled trip to his daughter's pageant. In the quiet after, small changes ripple through the terminal as dignity is restored and routines bend toward care. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And hey, where are you tuning in from? Leave your country in the comments. I love seeing how far these stories reach. She tore the paper boarding pass in half, right on the counter. The halves fluttered onto the sticky mat by the barcode scanner. A tin of reindeer-shaped cookies slid out of the man's open bag, hit the tile, and popped open. Crumbs spread under the silver stanchions. The man flinched and reached for the torn paper like he could glue it back with his fingers. The man in the reindeer sweater froze. He wore a Santa hat with a bent pom-pom and a hearing aid tucked behind one ear. He said soft, "It's my ticket." His voice disappeared into the speaker announcing a delay at gate 14. Someone behind him laughed. The gate agent's mouth thinned. "Sir," she said loudly. Now, because the line was long and the board showed 3 cancellations in red, "this is not valid. You need to step aside." Tino saw it happen from the far end of the line, mouth sticky with cinnamon. He was off the tug on a 10-minute break, cradling a pretzel he shouldn't have bought because his checking balance was a joke. The terminal smelled like sugar and disinfectant. Fake snow dripped from the garland above the departure screens. He'd been running bags since dawn. His own flight to El Paso was at 6 if he got out on time. His daughter had a Christmas pageant and a new dress she wanted to show him. He had a seat on a discount fare and an almost dead phone. He wasn't supposed to be near the gate podium at all. He watched the agent rub her forehead as 2 men in puffer jackets yelled about missing a connection. Her shirt stuck to her at the collar. Half the airport was stacked and angry. She didn't even look like a bad person. She looked done. But the way she flicked the man's paper like garbage turned Tino's neck hot. He knew the sign on the back hall door by heart. "Do not interfere with customer service operations. Direct all issues to a supervisor. Write up on first offense. And if he got written up, there goes the holiday travel pass. There goes the cheap fare he had begged from his lead." His daughter would light a candle in a church gym without him. He ducked under the belt barrier. His vest caught on the stanchion and snapped free. People stared. You weren't meant to cross that red rope unless you wore a blazer and a smile. Tino lifted his badge so the agent could see it. He picked up the 2 halves of the pass and the metal lid from the cookie tin. "Hey," he said. "Low. What happened?" The agent blinked at his neon vest. "You can't be up here," she said. She moved the torn pass away with 2 fingers. She looked past him at the line curling around the Christmas tree by the window, and he heard someone say, "Unbelievable," like a stand-up routine. Tino didn't look back. He crouched by the man's feet, pressed the tin lid back on the cookies. "You okay?" he asked. The man nodded too fast, eyes big, face blotchy under the reindeer sweater. The Santa hat had slid back. "He printed this at the library," Tino said to the agent. "Is his name in your system? Run it." "There's no barcode," she said. She meant it as policy. She stood a little straighter, like she could make a shield out of her posture. "He needs a valid mobile boarding pass, or a printed one with—" "I'll pay the reissue fee," Tino said, holding up his card. It was a thin debit card with a chipped edge. He held it like a dare. "Put him on my PNR if you need. Or same-day change. Whatever." "You don't have a PNR for him?" She shot back. He saw the red notch of tired in her eyes. "You can't just run his name," he repeated. He kept his voice even. "I've got him." The agent's jaw tightened. She looked at the man. He didn't meet her eyes. He twisted his hat string. The line behind them hummed with whispers and sighs. Someone started filming over a carry-on. "What's your name, sir?" she asked finally. Not through him, but to him. He lifted a card from his wallet. It had his name typed crookedly and a phone number in blue ink. She keyed it. The green line on her screen moved slow. "I have a reservation," she said after a beat, almost relieved. "Unpaid. Held and expired." "We'll pay," Tino said. He made sure to say "we," even though it was just him. He slid his debit card onto the counter. His hand shook. He thought about his rent on the 1st. He thought about his daughter holding a cheap candle in a paper cup. "You're not authorized," she said again, like a seatbelt sign. "You can't be at my podium. Then you can put me on report," he said. "He's boarding." She glanced over his shoulder, maybe looking for a supervisor, maybe praying. The 2 men in puffers grumbled. One looked at his watch with an open mouth. The man in the sweater stood on his toes like maybe it would help. After a second that felt like 10, the agent took the card. She typed with stiff fingers. The register chirped. The fee hit. The screen turned the shade it turns when money clears. Tino could feel the transaction in his stomach. A drop and a thud. "Okay," she said. Some air left her shoulders. "Group A, seat 23F. You can pre-board because of—" She flicked her gaze toward the hearing aid, then away. "Because you need a bit more time." Security came over after that. A tall guy in a blazer with a radio. He stepped between Tino and the counter like there had been a fight. The gate agent gestured with her chin. "He's below wing," she said. Not angry, not anything. Just naming it out loud so they would follow procedure. "Sir," the security guy said to Tino, soft in that tone they used to keep things stable. "I'm going to need you to step back from the podium." "I'm stepping back," Tino said. He held his hands up. He wasn't here to win. He wanted the man in the sweater on the jet bridge. There were rules. He knew them. He breathed. Another supervisor showed, his ramp lead. She wore her own neon vest over a sweater with small snowmen near the zipper. She took in the scene in a single sweep. Her face went blank the way it did when she wrote someone up. "We need to talk," she said under her breath. "We can talk," Tino said. "He's pre-boarding." "Now," she said. Her voice didn't rise. She pointed at the break room with the glass door. Tino looked at the clock. The boarding time ticked. He looked at the man. The man rolled the cookie tin in his hands like a steering wheel. "After he gets on," Tino said. 2 minutes. His lead held his eyes for a second. Then she looked at the agent, and at the line. She gave the smallest nod he had ever seen. 2 minutes, she said. "Then you're off for the rest of the day." It wasn't nothing. It meant no overtime. It meant maybe he missed his own flight if they pulled his badge. It meant a write-up in his file, a chat in an office with a poster about teamwork. He nodded. He'd take it. They scanned the new pass. The whirring printer spat out a crisp rectangle. Tino didn't know when he started breathing again. He put the Santa hat straight on the man's head. "Do you want me to walk you to the door?" he asked. The man nodded. He held the cookie tin tight. He had big hands and bitten nails. Tino held out his forearm and the man held on, not arms linked like old women on ice but close. He found a quiet gate that wasn't boarding. Rows of empty chairs. A TV on mute, showing a snowstorm in a different city. He sat the man down. "I'll get your pass printed nice," he said. "You want tea? Ginger?" the man said, surprising him with the specificity. "Hot." Tino bought a ginger tea and a grilled cheese with the last 10 in his pocket. He didn't open the app to check his balance. He bought a pack of gummies he knew he shouldn't. He brought napkins and wiped the cookie crumbs out of the tin. He retaped the lid with a spare strip from the shipping room tape he carried in his vest. While the man ate, his backpack slumped open. Tino wasn't trying to look inside, but things slid to the edge. A folded program from a church, white paper with black ink. The date on the front was last week. A woman's face in a soft oval. Teresa, followed by a last name. Under it, the words, "Homegoing Service." A discharge note from somewhere called Maple House, stamped with the date, underlined with holiday closure, and independent till January 3. A little zip bag with extra hearing aid batteries rolled under the seat. Tino picked it up and set it gently on the armrest. He didn't say anything. The man chewed slowly. He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. "I'm going to my sister," he said to some point on the window. "She says to bring cookies." "You're going," Tino said. "We made sure." He called the number on the card, using his last bar. The woman answered with a quick, "Hello." He told her hat, sweater, ginger tea. He gave her the new boarding time. She let out breath in his ear. "Thank you," she said, like she had been holding it too long. Back at the gate, the agent had a plastic bowl of candy canes by the scanner now. She didn't look at Tino when he came back with the man, but she didn't look away either. She lifted the mic. "We'll pre-board anyone who needs more time," she said. She added after a beat, "If you can't hear this announcement, come close. We'll speak up." The man boarded first, small steps on the jet bridge. Tino watched until the bend. He waited until the agent looked up. He tapped his vest where his name sat in white letters. "I know about the report," he said. "I'll sign it," she nodded. Her tired eyes softened a fraction. "Next time," she said, not unkind, "get me a supervisor." "Next time," he said, even though there shouldn't be a next time. The line shifted. People were already onto their next problem. In the break room, his lead wrote him up on a form that smelled like fresh paper. She clicked a pen and didn't add sugar. I can't protect you on this. If someone upstairs is mad, she said, you're off for the rest of the day. Badge is good tomorrow. I miss my flight, he asked. She nodded at the board through the glass. El Paso just went yellow, then red. Cancelled. A lot of things cancelled and red that day. He exhaled. He texted his ex to tell the kid he'd watched the video, clap at a screen. He sent a picture of the ginger tea with a wobbly smile. He paced next to the vending machine until the boarding door shut. He kept the two halves of the first paper pass in his pocket without knowing why. In the days after, the terminal kept moving like it always did. The day shift became night, and then day again. The floor polishers beeped down the concourse at 3 a.m, their orange lights spinning. The gate by the Christmas tree got a taped card on the podium with little icons, an ear, a wheelchair, a person with a cane. Next to it, a line that said, in short words, if you need help, tell us. The agent brought out the candy cane bowl each morning. She added a stack of laminated printouts with big fonts, boarding pass, help, we can print. She started saying slower and lower, anyone needing a bit more time? You can come now. And she looked toward the waiting area and not just down at the scanner. People rolled forward like always, but the panic felt less loud near her gate. The guy who had laughed in line showed up later that week with 2 shrink-wrapped packs of water bottles and left them by the counter with a shrug. For anyone stuck, he said. He didn't meet anyone's eyes as he walked away. On the ramp, Tino's lead started ending the morning huddle with, if you see a passenger who looks lost, call me. Don't just walk past. She talked to customer ops about getting a spare printer installed by the elevators where the wrong people always ended up. They didn't fix the whole world. They fixed a corner. Tino started keeping a few dollar bills folded under his badge with his cedar card so they were there when someone needed exact change for the luggage cart. He added a little travel pack of ginger tea to his locker. He didn't make a big thing about it. On Christmas night, Tino sat on a plastic chair under Gate 12's window. A kid slid on the floor in socks nearby. His phone lit up with a shaky video of a school gym and candlelight and small voices singing Silent Night off key. His daughter grinned at the camera and waved so hard the picture went blurry. He watched it twice, then a third time. He felt the torn paper halves in his pocket and didn't know why the edges made him calmer. He walked to the window. Outside, the runways glowed like lines drawn with a ruler. Snow from a morning dusting clung to the edges where the plows hadn't bothered. A single string of paper snowflakes hung unevenly from the gate sign, catching the breeze from the door every time it opened. He watched the homemade shapes lift and settle, as boarding chimes pinged and people moved on.